Hello, welcome to video number 79, the jury problem. This video, you're going to be doing an assignment, and so you might want to pause, go grab a piece of notebook paper before you get started. All right, so what I want you to do is once you have your notebook paper, title the assignment the jury problem. Make sure your name and the date is on the paper, right? And you're going to copy a big table that we're going to fill out. All right, so this is the beginning of the table. And actually, it has 10 more rows. So you don't have to make them this thick, but just be prepared. A total of 13, 0 through 12, so a total of 13 rows. All right, suppose that you're going to have a jury of your peers at Foreman. We're going to select a jury of 12 Foreman students, and we're going to randomly select the students. We want to know how many of freshmen we would expect to be on the jury. So out of the 12 randomly selected students, I want to find the probability that there are no freshmen, 1 freshman, 2 freshmen, etc., all the way up to 12 freshmen. Okay, we're going to assume that of 1,600 students at Foreman, 400 are freshmen. Okay, so the probability of success, which is of getting a freshman, let's talk about that right away. So probability of getting a freshman is 400 out of 1,600. If you reduce that, that's just 1/4. So the probability of getting a freshman is 1/4. And Q, the probability of failure, which is not getting a freshman, would be 3/4. So before we start this, it's going to be a lot easier to use those fractions instead of 400 and 1,600. Okay, I'm going to go through a couple rows and get you started. All right, so the first thing we want to consider is what's the probability of getting no freshmen? And for example, I just mean show me one way how this could happen. So I'm going to use F for freshman and N for not a freshman. So in this case, it's kind of easy. We have 6 people in our jury box, and all of them are not freshmen. So that's one example right there. In fact, that's the only way it can happen. All right, what's the probability of getting 12 that are not freshmen? Well, that would be the probability of failure, 3/4 to the 12th power. So that's the 4 there. Let me rewrite it again. So 3/4 to the 12th. How many ways can it happen? Remember, this is N choose R. We talked about that in the last video. It can only happen one way. There's only one way we get no freshmen. So what we do is we multiply the probability of each possibility times the number of ways it can happen. In this case, it's just 3/4 to the 12th times 1. So this would be 1 times 3/4 to the 12th, and that equals 3.2%. Okay, so in each row, you're going to write these things. An example, possibility, the probability of each possibility, the number of possibilities, the final probability. Maybe put it like a circle or a box around the final answer. All right, let's move to 1 freshman on the jury. So maybe the first guy is a freshman, and then we have 11 other people who are not freshmen. Okay, of course, this is only one way it could happen. The second person could have been the freshman, or the third, or the fourth. So we're going to find out that there's 12 ways this could happen. Anyway, each one has this probability. We have to select 11 people who are not freshmen and 1 person who is. Okay, so each possibility has that probability. Now, to find the number of possibilities, we want to know how many ways we can choose 1 person to be the freshman out of 12. So this is 12, choose 1. All right, we kind of already figured out it's 12. I'm going through the mechanics of this. So if you have your calculator, remember you enter the number of people we're choosing from first, 12. Go to math, go over to probability, and select 3, NCR, N choose R. And we want to do 12, choose 1. This is how many ways of picking 1 person from 12. And as predicted, there are 12. Okay, so this equals 12. Now, this is the probability of each way it can happen. There are 12 ways it can happen, so we multiply this. So this would be 12 times 3/4 to the 11th times 1/4 to the 1st. If you do this, you get 12.7%. All right, so a 12.7% chance that if we randomly select a jury, we'll get one freshman. All right, I'm going to keep going on this example, but soon it's going to be your time. 2 freshmen on the jury. Easiest example to write would be the first 2 are freshmen, and I guess the next 10 are not. Of course, this could happen a lot of different ways. The probability of each one, well, this time we have 3/4 to the 10th and 1/4 squared. That's the probability of each one of these, and we got to figure out how many different possibilities there are like this. So the number of ways of picking 2 out of the 12 to be freshmen. All right, well, 12 choose 2. We definitely need a calculator for this. So we're going to enter 12, go to math, probability, NCR, and enter 2. Okay, 66. There are 66 different ways we could pick the spots for the freshmen to be in. Okay, let's put it together. So there's 66 possibilities, and each one has this probability, 3/4 to the 10th times 1/4 squared. Wow. Yeah, because the first person could be a freshman, maybe the next are non-freshmen until the last one. If you started writing out all the different possibilities, you would quickly become a believer. There are a lot of them. All right, so if you do this, this turns out to be 23.2%. Okay, so if we asked to write out all the different possibilities, it'd take forever. All right, so you're going to keep going. So start with 3 freshmen on the jury. Make one example of this. Calculate the probability of 3 of the 12 being freshmen. And to find out how many different ways this could happen, you're going to do 12, choose 3. All right, that's the number of ways we can pick 3 of the spots to be freshmen. And then go ahead. You got to multiply the probability of each one times the total number of possibilities. Okay, so this will give you a lot of practice, and this is how binomial probabilities are computed, at least by hand. So go ahead and finish 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to go ahead and do probably 7, 8, 9, 10. Some of these start getting very unlikely, so watch out for scientific notation. By the time you get near the end here, I think some of them are extremely unlikely. Very unlikely you're going to have 10 freshmen on the jury, let alone 11 or 12. So you're going to go start at where we start at, 0, 1, 2, copy that, and then like I said, go on, take it 3 through 12. All right, on the very end, this is the easy part. I want you to kind of answer these 2 questions. We want you to find out what is the most likely number of freshmen on the jury. So just go through and see which row had the highest probability and what % of time will this happen. Then we want you to calculate how many freshmen we expect. Okay, so for this problem, N, I'll put it down here, N is 12. That's the number of trials. The probability of success of getting a freshman was 1/4, and the probability of failure was 3/4. So calculate how many freshmen on average. You got to use the formula, expected value of x equals n times p. This is for the binomial model. The variance equals npq, and the standard deviation is the square root of n times p times q. Okay, let's see how many freshies we would expect on average. Good luck, turn this in. Let me know if you have any questions.